Yeah, it's the first time I'm in Latvia. Indeed, I've actually never been like further east than Poland when it comes to Europe.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really nice. I really enjoy it so far. It's yeah, good.
Thank you. About the conference, so is it important, like in this region, maybe in Europe, maybe in the whole world, that DSS ISAC?
So yeah, I think that like this Latvia being part of European Union, means that there's sort of a very general European audience. Just looking at the number of Dutch people that are also here at the conference, I mean, it's good to go to a conference like this to catch up with people not only from Latvia but all of the countries between us. Yeah.
Okay. So could you tell us some words about your topic, the things you're working on?
Yeah. So late 2014, I quit my full-time job and I started working on an open source project called Cloud ABI, which you can find on GitHub. And with Cloud ABI, what you can do is you can design applications that are really strongly sandboxed. And with that I mean, normally what you do is you design an application that, for example, runs on a Linux or a FreeBSD server, and only later on you try to get it secure by using security frameworks like AppArmor on Linux, for example. What you can do with Cloud ABI is sort of design your application and already at the design phase determine how this program communicates with the outside world. And that will all automatically be your security policy. So there's no need to actually harden an application afterwards. You can already do that during the design phase. And the reason why that's really important in my opinion is, what you often see is that a group of software engineers, they design an application and they throw it over the fence to people like systems administrators who will have no actual insight or true insight in the design of the application. And those are the people who then have to secure your application, and that's an unreasonable demand in my opinion. Already tackling that at the design phase is something that's really valuable.
Okay, so, but if it's secure anyways, so, well, maybe just don't think about it? No?
Well, yeah, that's sort of a mindset you can easily get, but also one of the nice things about this model is that you can easily like make a drawing, make a map of how all the applications that you're designing are talking to each other, because they can only communicate with each other over the channels that you're sort of configuring, which means that it's also a lot easier to actually reason about security. So I don't think that people sort of will become sloppy about it, that they think like, oh, whatever, it's secure by default, should be good enough, because the barrier to actually understanding how the security in your apps is set up actually makes it easier and more attractive to reason about, like, what would happen if this specific piece of software in my network gets compromised? How would it affect all of the programs surrounding it? And yeah, it's pretty valuable in assessing the security of a larger system of communicating servers, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of applications is your product targeted at?
So right now, one of the downsides of using Cloud ABI is that you actually in some cases need to redesign some parts of your program. A program that was sort of designed prior to using Cloud ABI will be a bit harder to sort of get pushed into this model, which means that a lot of sort of the existing larger pieces of software that are out there may not work in Cloud ABI easily and actually do require some development to get working. But that sort of immediately brings me to like the target audience of the system. You have a lot of companies that, for example, build embedded appliances. They take Linux, FreeBSD, some Unix flavored operating system, put it on an embedded piece of hardware, and then add a couple of applications on top of that. And that's sort of the value that's being added to the product. Those applications, they're designed in-house. There's like a really short feedback loop between like the people building the appliance as a whole and the people designing the software that runs on top of this. And those are really like the groups of people that could benefit from a system like Cloud ABI. So if you're designing like an embedded Linux appliance, then do check out Cloud ABI. It's really good for securing your software. Yeah.
And how could like users benefit from this, or how do they benefit?
Well, yeah. So, if by users you mean, for example, software developers in this case, because it's really targeted at that, what it basically means is that software, in addition to becoming more secure, also becomes easier to test and to reuse. So my hope is that it not only makes software more secure, it can actually cut down on development cycles, the time needed to develop applications, because it's a lot easier to test Cloud ABI software as well.
Okay, yeah. Great stuff. And at the end, maybe some wishes to the audience, to the viewers.
Yeah, do attend next year's conference. It's really enjoyable. it's a really lovely conference, nice atmosphere, and in a nice building, of course. If it's going to be in the same building next year. Yeah.